Hi everyone, this is a video to show you how you can use Virtualoon to do your organic garlands, columns and walls. When you get into Virtualoon, you go in, I'm going to do a circle for you today, and how I'm going to do that is I'm going to go in to our menu, which is on the left hand side, scroll down and you will find that there is a circle tool. It's right down the very bottom, a little bit hard to find. It's 100 a centimeter radius, and you just click on that and then put it onto your screen. Up here in design size, you can see that the circle is a little bit too big for the screen, so I'm going to change the size of the design, the actual background, and the background there is the grey part. That's your working space. Any balloons that you put into the design need to be on this grey background, otherwise you can't see them in the finished design. You'll notice that it's to the left hand side there, and I want it in the middle. Go up to the top and click the red button, turn it green, and see the offset buttons there, they move it. So I've got it on 20 centimeters. You can take it backwards, so if you move it and it's in the wrong place, just put a minus icon there and click add offset and that will move it. And you can move them both at the same time, or you can move them separately. So I'm going to make it 50 centimeters for each of those. I'll do the vertical first, so that's your up and down, and you can see how you can move it up and down. That can be 1 centimeter or it can be 100 centimeters. It's entirely up to you. So we're going to do it in the horizontal to show you. You can see that horizontal takes it sideways, and the negative value in there will take it backwards. And I like that space, that's quite good there. Now I'm going to go and find some balloons. I love Qualitex balloons. I'm going to use large ones, the 16-inch pastel pearl, and you'll be able to change those colours later. So just click a few of them and pop them onto the screen. You move them by left clicking on the red button. So when you click on the balloon, you'll see a little red button come up, and you just left click, hold the left button down, and then that moves the balloons where you want them. You can put them in the front of the balloons, or in the back, and they will automatically go behind each other depending on which one you put onto the working area first. The yellow button there changes the size of the balloons, and you see there I've put that balloon to the back of the circle. Sometimes when I click on it, the big circle part comes up and then you can't move what's behind it. So you've got two options. You can move the circle out of the way, but I'll show you shortly how to do that, so you don't need to do it. Go up to File, click on the green button, click Reset Design. Now if you want to keep any of those buttons up the top open, you just click the red button, turn it green. A good way to build these out is to put some bigger balloons into it. I'm going to use these colours, but I will change them later on. I'm going to bring that to the front because it is a small balloon, so it's better that it's at the front. No point having it at the back, you won't see it at all. And I'm going to get some more balloons. For this, I'm going to go down and get some 30 centimeters, so 3/4. In Virtualoon, these balloons are made to scale, so you'll notice that the 3/4 is in proportion to the others that I've used, which are the 16-inch. Also, you'll see I turned the balloon around there. That's because there's that little Qualitex logo there. I don't want that showing, so I'm going to pop that down the bottom, and eventually I'll hide it. So I'm going to send that balloon to the back because it's a large balloon. It doesn't need to be at the front. And up pops that square again. I'm going to size it down a little bit. With the balloons, you can size them. You can always size them down. You can't size a 3/4 any larger than a 3/4, and the same with the 16-inch. You can't make them any bigger than they would really go in real life, because in real life they will pop. Right. To get rid of the buttons, these are activating the balloons. If you don't have those buttons like it is now, no buttons means the balloons aren't activated and you can't work with them. To activate them, you need to click on them and have the red button show up. This, I think, took me about 16 minutes to complete this whole arch. It was about 16 or 17 minutes, and I'm doing the voiceover afterwards so I can have a good look at it and talk to you about a few things. Just remember your sizing and also remember your colours when you do this. And all you need to do is just build around this balloon, around the circle. I'm going to remove the circle later because I don't need it, but for the moment I've got it there just so I can keep a nice shape. And it's all about where you place your balloons and what you do with them. In some places I've placed, like I've sized down this 3-footer. Really, I probably could have used a 16-inch because later on when I go to do my shopping list, find out what balloons I've used in this, it's going to come up that I need that 3-footer, and I probably don't. So that's just something to be aware. But I did throw this together quite late at night so that you guys could see it. So you'll have to excuse me for that. I'm going to go in and get some more 16-inch pastels. Now, even though I'm using pastel pearls in here, it doesn't matter. You can change the colour later on. For the moment, what it's about is just getting a bit of balance and seeing what's going to look lovely together. Sizing, you need to get your sizing right. And also the placement of the different colours, because I am going to change those later on. You'll notice that I've got quite a few balloons activated. I will eventually go and deactivate them because the little red dots, I find them quite distracting. Excuse me. You'll notice that I'm putting some behind the green line and at the back. That's because in all balloon decor, you do have balloons at the front and the back. And this will give your design a bit of depth as well, especially if you start changing the colours. And for the balloons at the back, you could put darker colours. I would suggest that your darker colours are the smaller balloons. If you put darker colours as the bigger balloons, they tend to be a bit overpowering. So there's quite a bit of design element that you need to be aware of when you're doing this, even just with the virtual designs and with Virtualoon. I think I may fast forward this. I'm not sure. I don't know how much everyone wants to watch of this because there's still another 10 minutes to go. But you can always fast forward it yourself. So don't forget, when you want to move a balloon, you click on it, you left click on the red button, and then that gives you the means to move the button around. When you do click on the red button and that menu pops up, there's quite a lot of things that you can look at within there. You can move the item that you're playing with, the balloon that you're using, the one that's activated with the red dot. You can move it to the front, you can move it to the back. On there it's got move one layer back, and that's if that's in relation to the last balloon that you've put up. So if you put up 2 balloons, you can move the second balloon one layer back behind the first balloon that you've put on. I hope that's easy to understand, maybe a little difficult. Virtualoon's fantastic. They have more than 9,000 balloons, and there's a few more balloon companies that are looking at coming on board with this. Oh dear. Okay, so little phone call, sorry about that. So you can size these balloons down using the red dots. It really doesn't take long. As I was saying, Virtualoon have got more than 9,000 balloons in the program. It's fantastic. You've got Qualitex, Anagram, North Star, Metallic. I think there might be another Italian brand coming on board soon, hopefully, because I think that will be very handy. You can put foils into your organic designs. I know they have a foil star point wall that they've done a design for that's in Virtualoon. You can also buy designs. So if you see this design that I've made today but you couldn't be bothered making it, well, you can buy the design from me, and when you buy it, it comes complete with the buttons, so you can change your colours. It's already done. You don't need to spend that 20 minutes. So if you think your 20 minutes is worth more than $20 that I would sell it to you for, buy your Virtualoon membership and you can purchase this and use it forever. You can't sell it to anybody else. as a pattern, but you can sell it to your clients. And I tell you now, your clients will be interested in this. If you can show them a design like this and they say they want it in hot pink and bright purple, you can change the colors and you can make it exactly for them and personalize it. And when you've got your pattern, you can add to it. So if you need to put a name on there, or you want to put a love through the middle, like's all the rage, for the art, you can do this. Inside this menu, you can also duplicate something. So if you've got a particular balloon on your screen that's sized to a particular size and you don't want to resize it, but you want like 20 of them, you can go into that menu when you click this menu that's come up now, and you can duplicate. You can duplicate 100 of them. I wouldn't recommend doing that, because then you need to delete the ones that you don't use and that you don't need, and that's quite time consuming. I think my organic circle's coming together nicely. The balloons I've got on the side there, I've pulled them up because sometimes I find it easier to have the balloons on the working area, so I can just work within. At the moment I'm using the 16-inch pastel pearls, but I thought I might like to have a 3-footer, so I've put it onto my workspace so I don't have to keep going back to the 3-foot page. If I don't need it, very, very easy to delete. And it's not much longer until it's finished. I think it's very, very soon. Okay, so now what I'm doing is just sizing these, because I want to have a bit of a bigger cluster at the bottom, and work my way up to the top to go smaller. Be very careful when you're doing your organics. Sometimes we have a tendency to make them top heavy, and that's a design feature, a design idea. It's all about, when you look at something, how pleasing it is to your eye. And with your organics, if you can look, you can see the ups and downs, the highs and lows, and it's very pleasing. And if you're looking at it and then all of a sudden, bang, there's a massive balloon there, it can sometimes interrupt the flow. So be very careful. And that's what I find really great about Virtualoon. You can build a design in this program and you can put it all together, and you can stand back and think that it's fantastic, and you look at it and you go, that looks awful. And how many times as balloon decorators, balloon designers, balloon artists have we done that? We've made something, not a virtual something, but a physical something. We've made it and we've looked at it and gone, oh my goodness, I wish I didn't put that there. This eliminates all of that. And I think, this is something I need to share with you. I used the balloons on the left-hand side, and I popped it over and changed the colour of the 11-inch, the 30-inch, rather than going and getting another one. I just took a 30-inch pastel pink pearl and I dropped it on top of the white one that was there, and it changed the colour. I got a bit distracted there. All right, so I've put the 30-inch at the back. So many things that I want to tell you about this program. And you can see now that it's starting to look a balanced, it's a balanced circle. This would be great to use as a photo frame. You can imagine a couple of people standing behind it. And because it's coming down on the sides, you can still see that it's a circle, but there's where I've put the larger balloons. That's where you would have your feet, the feet of your circle, so that you could hide it and not have feet poking out. Let's see what I'm doing now. Which ones am I getting? Because I did do this last night with no voiceover, because my family was sleeping at midnight. It's looking a little bit messy at the moment, but it is going to come together beautifully. Again, I'll say I probably should have used an 11-inch balloon there. I don't tend to use very many 5-inch balloons in my designs. I want them to pop and be wow. And so I like the bigger balloons. So this one's going in the front, object to the back, so it's going to go behind the green circle. Don't forget to activate the balloon. Left click on it, the red button comes up. Double click on that red button and you can get into the menu that will change that particular balloon that you're working with. So that's what that red button does, that it opens that menu. You can cancel a movement, you can delete the balloon, you can send it to the back, you can bring it to the front, you can duplicate it, and inside that menu is a tool that makes that will help you make your templates. So if you do buy Virtualoon, that is a fantastic tool. So once you've made your design, you don't need to remake it. you can save this as a base plate, which is what I do. And then I come back in and open it up again, and I might change a few elements on it, and then I will save that design with another name. So I now have two files, similar designs but different. Let's have a look and see what I'm doing here. I'm going to bring the reason I brought that to the front is you can see down the bottom there on those balloons, they've got the Qualitex labels, and I want to move those. I don't want you to see that, so I've pulled that green balloon down so you can see I've just popped that Qualitex. I love Qualitex balloons, but I just don't want the pictures of their logo there. I'm going to put the blue balloon to the back just to create a bit of depth there. I think it's a little bit big. I'm going to reset my design, and when I click on this balloon, you see that the circle keeps coming up. So just for making it simple, I think I move it out of the way, and then I can do this. So what you've got in Virtualoon is you've got layers of balloons. Each of those balloons is a layer, a bit like Photoshop if you're a Photoshop person. And you can see that I can't touch the ones at the back because when the front layer, this layer is activated, it's actually covering the balloon that I want to play with. So I moved the circle. You don't actually have to move the circle because when you put your cursor over the balloons, the balloon that becomes active will sort of light up, or it will change color, and you know then that you can left click on the button and that will be the one that's activated. It can be a little bit frustrating when you're first starting, but believe me, it's easy. It's just a learning curve. It won't take you long to get used to it, and the developers have got fantastic interaction with us. I've been using Virtualoon now for about 2 years. I think I was one of the first people that bought it when I saw it. Didn't play with it very much at all for probably about a year. And then somebody asked me if I would show them how to use it, and I thought I better learn how to use it myself. So I've had a lot of time playing with it, and I think it's one of the best tools on the market, and it just keeps getting better. The more people that invest in this program for their business, the better it's going to get. It's like anything. It takes money to make apps and tools, and if we invest in the developers, then the developers can invest more of their time and money into it as well. And this has been a fabulous tool for me. So we're nearly at the end of learning how to make our organic arch, our organic circle. It's just a case now of moving a few balloons around, and that actually looks to me very pretty. I think a little person would be very happy to get that. Down the bottom there I can see a little bit of the green from the arch, but that's simple to cover. It's simple to cover. And you'll probably see here when I put the circle back that I put it in the right place. There we go. And not too long to go now. And I keep activating that, so I just keep resetting the design. But you see when my cursor goes over balloons, you'll see that they go light, and that means that that's the balloon that you can activate and mess around with and size and do what you want with. And I have to say that I think that is pretty darn good, and it hasn't been too long. If I was to make a sample for a client, which is what we've all done in the past, I'm sure somebody's asked for something, so we've gone, I'll make it and I'll make a sample and I'll show them. It would take me way more time than the 20 minutes that this has taken me in Virtualoon. It would also take me more money because I would have had to go out and buy these balloons and use them and then maybe try and sell it to somebody or pop them. This does away with that. You can just build to your heart's content, and it's actually my happy place at the moment. Designing and art is fantastic. I don't want to do diamond painting. I want to do balloon design, and I do that within Virtualoon. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how you can throw some colors in there. And you saw on the left hand side there in the menu how many balloons are there. All right, here we go. Let's get some fashion colors back. So I'm going to put these on just for a little pop of colour. The reason I'm doing these in a darker colour is so I could just see where they're going. Because, excuse me, these are going to be my little accents. And you could probably get 5-inch balloons for these. But as I say, I don't use a lot of 5-inch. It takes a long time to blow them up. And you can get similar sort of result by sizing down. Well, you get a more impressive result sizing down an 11-inch, probably to about a 9-inch. It's just impressive. Big is better. Everybody knows that. Look at a bank balance. A bigger bank balance is better than a smaller bank balance. Do them in clusters of 3. I don't like to do groups of 2 of anything. I did a floristry course many years ago, and if I learnt then that if you do 2, especially with flowers, it tends to look like bunny rabbit ears. So try to keep with your odd numbers. What I've done there with those ones is that are 2, and they don't look too bad because they're not the same size, but I am going to make clusters of 3. And to attach those into my balloon, my organics, I group them and I tie them together with 260Qs, and so I'll have one 260Q, get the air out of it, tie it onto one balloon, make a duplicate with the 2 other balloons, and then I can just loop it around a balloon and pull it in. And if you need to know how to do that, let me know, and I shall make a tutorial on my YouTube channel. I think that's looking really good. I love it. I think it's beautiful. And here we go. We'll finish that off. You can change the colours with these. Very simple. For the moment, this is purely and simply just to show you how you can use Virtualoon to make organics. Don't forget you can add any foils onto this that you would like, and there are lots and lots of them. Keep an eye out for the next tutorial. It'll be coming up very soon, and make sure you save your design, and I will show you how to do that as well. I'm going to remove the circle. I don't want it in there, and we're going to delete that, and there you go, a beautiful organic circle made with Virtualoon.